Hello to all Cinemaster lovers. Hope you enjoy watching. Let's get started. The story begins with a group of people on a sea voyage, including Shan Hong and his daughter Huan. It happens to be Huan's birthday, and her father gives her a gift, a walkie-talkie. However, she doesn't like the gift and seems upset about the trip altogether. While the people are enjoying the view of the sea, they spot a group of dolphins heading toward them, seemingly fleeing from a massive creature. At the same time, Huan finds a book containing information about snakes. The book mentions that baby snakes, upon hatching, will attach themselves to the first living creature they see if their mother is not around. Suddenly, a giant creature attacks them, capsizing the boat in the middle of the sea. The waves wash the people ashore on an island. Hong begins searching for his daughter, calling her on the walkie-talkie. He eventually finds her, but a massive, terrifying snake appears behind her. The snake starts attacking people, swallowing anyone in its path in a horrifying scene. Hong tries to reach his daughter, but in a heartbreaking moment, the snake swallows Huan right before his eyes. Hong is left standing in shock and grief, unable to save her. The snake then disappears into the forest. Shortly after, Hong hears his daughter's voice through the walkie-talkie, indicating she is still alive, though the signal is weak and distorted. A group of people volunteers to venture into the forest to search for her, including a tough-looking man named Yu Ji. Another group stays on the shore, unwilling to follow the snake. Suddenly, something resembling a frog's tongue attacks one of them, dragging the person into the forest. Meanwhile, the snake reaches its nest and regurgitates the people it swallowed, leaving them there to gather more victims. Some of the regurgitated people are still alive, including Huan. The captain explores the area to find an escape route, but discovers that the place is too deep and escape seems impossible. To make matters worse, they find snake eggs. Realizing they are meant to be the first meal for the baby snakes, one of them decides to break the eggs before they hatch, believing it will kill the snakes. Unfortunately, the eggs hatch, and the baby snakes emerge unharmed. Everyone runs and hides behind a rock. One injured woman, unable to move, is killed by one of the snakes. Back with Hong and his group, they have been searching for the missing people for a long time. Yuji cuts a tree branch, which oozes black liquid. When someone lights a match to smoke a cigarette and tosses it, the liquid ignites. They realize the tree's sap is flammable. At this point, Hong begins hallucinating, seeing the people around him laughing and telling him his daughter is dead and he won't find her. A snake appears, wrapping around his neck and attacking him, but Yuji snaps him out of it. At the same time, the tree branches start wrapping around the group, trying to kill them. They manage to save themselves, except for one person. Meanwhile, the group in the snake's nest kills one of the baby snakes. One of them tries to negotiate with another person, offering to help them escape in exchange for something they want. The person dismisses the offer, saying money is meaningless now. They argue until a woman named Suchi reassures them they will escape alive. The man looks at her, puzzled by her confidence. Back with Hong's group, they are cutting tree branches to defend themselves when one of them goes to drink water. Suddenly, a dense fog covers the area, and the person sees an animal skeleton. Realizing a new danger is imminent, a ferocious fish leaps out, killing and eating the person's face. More of these fish emerge from the fog, attacking the group. The group tries to fend them off, but fails as the fish tear into them. They keep running until the fog clears, causing the fish to fall lifeless to the ground. After a while, a liquid falls on one of them, but when he looks up, he finds a big worm on the tree, and tongue of the frog appears and pulls this worm. And then the huge frog appears to them and starts chasing the whole group, and unfortunately, he succeeds in catching one of them, so they quickly return to catch him. And when one of them tried to cut the tongue of the frog, a dangerous liquid came out of it and burned this person's face, so one of them immediately throws a branch into the frog's eye. So the frog is forced to leave the man and succeeds in making them run away from him. But the frog still doesn't leave them alone and chases them to take revenge for his damaged eye. But suddenly the snake appears and swallows the frog immediately. After he finishes with the frog, he starts attacking Hong's group, and the snake attacks two of them and tries to eat them. But Joffa tries to distract him and actually succeeds in doing so, and the snake runs after them again. Then the snake goes to the person whose face was disfigured, and at that time this person was begging the snake not to eat him, but the snake still didn't care and ate him in seconds. After the snake finished, he went back to circle around the rest of them, and when the group first saw a pond, they jumped into it, but he couldn't see them because the snake sees through body heat, so he couldn't see anything, so he left them and walked. We go back again. When the group in the snake's nest heard the sound of the snake coming, they decided to sleep with the dead people so that the snake wouldn't finish them off as well. When the snake came, it threw away the people it had gathered, but it discovered that one of its children was dead. It got very angry and went out to look for the one who killed its son. At the same time, the video started to break, and the little snakes started to come out. The whole group ran away and left Joan alone. A little snake approached her. At once, she remembered what she had read in the book, which is that if little snakes haven't seen their mother yet, they get attached to the first living creature they see. At that moment, they try to tame the snake so that they can be its friend. She actually succeeded and knew that she could do this. After that, she introduced it to her aunt, Shaw. The snake didn't attack them, but it went to attack the rest. They had finally found a place to escape from, but a person came out and pushed them all away and ran away on his own. We then then return to Hong's group, who discovered a laboratory in the middle of the jungle. There, they learn that this island and the creatures on it are genetically modified beings. The scientists conducting these experiments lost control of the situation. The creatures grew to an enormous size and wiped out everyone who was on the island. At that moment, we learn that Hugh was an officer in the rescue unit. He figures out a way to activate the transmitter in the laboratory and tries to send a distress signal to the rescue team. For the first time, hope appears. At the same time, the man who managed to escape from the snake's nest enters and tells them that he is the only survivor and that everyone in the nest has died. This shocks Hong, who starts screaming and crying. Later that night, Hugh talks to Hong and tells him that he understands how he feels because he went through the same experience 5 years ago when his wife and daughter died in a house fire. Ever since, he has blamed himself, thinking that if he had reached the house in time, none of that would have happened. He tells Hong that he must learn to forgive himself from now on. The next day, they hear the sound of a helicopter and become very happy, rushing outside. But Hong discovers that his daughter is still alive and is speaking to him through the radio, though her voice is unclear due to a weak signal. At that moment, the old man accuses the man who came from the snake's nest of lying because he claimed that everyone had died. When the liar realizes his secret is out, he runs away, but while running, he spots the helicopter and starts signaling to it. However, at the same moment, the snake appears, swallows the helicopter, and the old man manages to confront the liar again. But the liar strikes the old man and kills him. We then return to Hong, who is trying to locate his daughter through the surrounding sounds. Meanwhile, smaller snakes are attempting to attack them. At the same time, one of the snakes intervenes, trying to defend Hugh because it believes he is its mother. At that moment, Hong reaches them and lowers a tree branch to pull them up. But then the real mother of the snakes arrives and attacks Hong. Hugh intervenes, striking the snake in the eye, and finds a massive tree trunk entangled in the branches. He tries to cut the branches to make it fall on the snake. The snake was about to reach him, but Jovan managed to throw a tree branch into its eye. Then Hugh successfully drops the tree trunk on it. Meanwhile, the captain was helping the two girls climb up. They managed to save them, but unfortunately, the captain is killed by the snakes. Afterward, the group tries to escape the area, but Hugh stops them, saying they can't possibly outrun the snake. He tells them he will try to distract it so they can escape. Jovan also decides to join him. At that moment, the snake reappears and attacks Hugh. Hugh bravely uses an axe to cut its skin, but the snake's skin is strong and unaffected by his attacks. They come up with another idea. They lure it into the forest and decide to set it on fire using the black tree sap we saw at the beginning of the film. But the snake realizes their plan, escapes, and leaves them. Meanwhile, Hong bids farewell to his daughter and decides to return to help them. The same scene repeats itself. The snake appears behind his daughter and swallows her again. At that moment, Hong becomes enraged, attacks the snake, and tries to strike it. But the snake's skin is incredibly tough and unaffected by anything. As the snake closes in on him, ready to devour him, Hugh lights a fire to draw the snake's attention. The snake sees him and leaves Hong, chasing after Hugh. They finally manage to trap it in the black sap and set it on fire. The snake screams as its entire body is roasted. Afterward, it returns to Hong and dies in front of him. When the snake dies, they open its mouth and find the girl inside. The snake hadn't swallowed her. They pull her out and try to revive her. She eventually wakes up. Thus, they succeed in eliminating the most dangerous creature on the island. The movie ends here. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more updates.